So we're going to preview, do our predictions for the entire card, early prelims, of course, all the way to the main event, UFC 324, going down tomorrow, Saturday night, January 24th. The main event, as we know, that interim lightweight championship. We got Justin Gaethje taking on Paddy Pimblett. But yeah, let's start with some prelims, some early prelims. I'm gonna shut this dough back here. All right, y'all. See. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, cool. So let's start prelims. Let's go early prelims. So the very first fight of the night, we got Ty Miller taking on Adam Fugit or Fugit. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Fugitt. Looks like Fugit. Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. Not sure the odds of this one right off the top of my head here, but Ty Miller, I know he's a pretty sizable favorite. He's young. I think he's only 25 years old, 6-0. Adam is 10-5. But yeah, I think Ty's younger, fresh off his Contender Series victory. I think it was late last year. Yeah, so I'd give us Ty Miller. I don't know if it's worth betting at all. The value's not really there. He's a pretty big favorite. And then next up, the second bout that was scheduled was uh, supposed to be Ricky Tercios versus Cameron Smotherman. I don't know if anybody saw it, but Cameron Smotherman weighing weighing in just a little bit ago actually passed out, fainted, literally face first. Uh, as soon as he got off the scale, he's on the scale. He looked like he was trying to hold it together. He looked pretty rough shape, obviously. Gets off the scale and just face plants. His eyes were open, like lights were on, but nobody was home type of deal. So Cam, I imagine he's being rushed to the closest hospital. Cameron Smotherman versus Ricky Tercios is canceled, obviously, rightfully so. So that fight is canceled after Cam Smotherman fainted after the weigh-ins. So that's going to be hopefully he gets well soon. But moving on, so that fight canceled. Moving on to the third fight of the night, these early prelims in the heavyweight division. Josh Hockett taking on Denzel Freeman. Josh Hockett, another guy from Contender Series last year, former, I think, college football player. I don't know if he played in the NFL. Former uh, football player. Denzel Freeman, I think, is from Contender Series as well. Josh Hockett 7-0. Denzel Freeman 7-1. Hockett is about a minus 225 favorite right now. So give us Josh Hockett. I like that. I'm surprised he's actually not a bigger underdog or a bigger favorite. So yeah, Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. We're going Hockett. On to the next fight, Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez. Michael Johnson 25-19. Alexander Hernandez 18-8. Right now, Alexander Hernandez, as of yesterday, was the minus 162 favorite. But I think that line is shrinking a little bit. I saw some platforms have Michael Johnson as the favorite now. I think last time I looked, I was able to shout out to Anita right there. I think last I saw Michael Johnson plus 100, so I think that line is drawing closer. But either way, I like Michael Johnson, even if he's the underdog. I think he's able to get it done. That fight probably goes to decision. So yeah, Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez. Yeah, I like Michael Johnson in that spot. All right, moving on to the regular prelims. First up in the flyweight division, we'll see Alex Perez take on Charles Johnson. Alex Perez 25-10. Charles Johnson 18-7. Charles Johnson, famous for that skullet. He has that sick haircut, but super tall, rangy, lengthy for the division. Actually has a victory over current flyweight champion Joshua Van. So Charles Johnson has that experience. He's yo-yoed a little bit in the past. Alex Perez, this guy has had so many fights canceled in the last few years. Not sure why. I don't know if they were because of him or the other guy. Whatever. But Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. I think right now Charles is about minus 170. So yeah, I like Charles Johnson in that spot. Slight favorite. Give us Charles there. And next up in the light heavyweight division, we'll see Nikita Krylov taking on Modestas Bukauskas. Nikita Krylov 30-11, just crazy vast, tons of experience. Modestas Bukauskas 19-6, so good amount of experience there. Right now, Bukauskas is about a -148 favorite, and I like him in that spot, slight favorite. Nikita Krylov at one point, probably one of the most underrated light heavyweights, but again, he's kind of been up and down throughout his whole career. So Modestas Bukauskas, slight favorite right now. I like him in that spot. Give us Bukauskas to get it done. These next two fights, I literally just wrote down. I only wrote down the name of the guy who I think is going to win because they're such big favorites. Without much explanation needed, Atiba Gauthier versus Andre Puliov. Atiba 9-1, just built like a freak, just absolutely crazy physique, power. He's a middleweight. He probably walks around 230, if not more. Atiba Gauthier. I don't even know those odds. I didn't even write that down, but yeah, Atiba's gonna win. I think the best. If you're gonna bet on this one, obviously no value in Atiba straight up because he's like minus over 1,000, but for that fight to go under 2.5, or I'm sorry, under 1.5 rounds. I don't know what that number is right now, but that's definitely more value there than just betting Atiba straight up. So Atiba Gauthier versus Andre Polyaev, probably butchered that. Give us Atiba to get it done in emphatic fashion. And then next up, this is the featured bout in the prelims. Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Davison Figueiredo, former UFC flyweight champion Davison Figueiredo. Umar Nurmagomedov 19-1, Davison 25-5-1. So obviously a lot of mileage experience on Davison. Like we said, former champ Umar Nurmagomedov, that only loss coming from Peter Yan in that championship bout where he looked decent but definitely gassed out. Um, yeah, I didn't even write down the odds for this one. I know it's probably like minus 1,300 or something like that. I think it'll be a decent fight. Hopefully, I think it probably goes the distance. I think Umar needs a finish, though. He can't just keep getting these decisions. I actually have Umar becoming bantamweight champion by January 1st next year or December 31st this year. I think Umar Nurmagomedov actually ends the year as champion, however that comes to be. So Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo, give us Umar. Uh, Hopefully by finish. Hopefully he does it in pretty impressive fashion. So now we're going to go to the main card. I'm going to switch to this green screen so you guys have a little bit of a visual here, if I can find it. Okay. There we go. So now we're going to move on. Shoot. I don't know if I can shrink myself. Whatever. You can see all the main card fights right there. Opening up the main card, Arnold Allen taking on Jean Silva. Apologize for my voice. I'm stuffed up. I feel like I can hear it myself. So Arnold Allen, 20-3. Jean Silva, 16-3. A little bit more experience for Arnold Allen. Not much. I'm going to go to their records, though. So let's do a little deeper dive for these main card fights. I like Arnold Allen. I know he's the underdog. Right now, Jean Silva's the favorite, about minus 250, which is pretty big. I think they're kind of disrespecting Arnold Allen a little bit with that line. Arnold Allen's super talented. He just hasn't been as active as Silva. So let's just refresh our memory here. So the last few fights for Arnold Allen. Yeah, so he hasn't fought in over a year. His last fight was only July 2024. So that's what I mean when I mentioned the inactivity from Arnold Allen. So super talented. He has some wins over tons of wins. Obviously, only those 3 losses. Probably his most notable wins over Sadiq Youssef, Dan Hooker, Calvin Kattar. He's only lost to the best guys in the division, Max Holloway, Mozvar Evloev. Just hasn't been active, like we said. His last win was versus Giga Chikadze. That was July 2024. Jean Silva has been super active. Let's just refresh here. Jean Silva, again, 16-3. His last fight was that loss to Diego Lopez. He was TKO, knocked out with a spinning back elbow and punches. Yeah, but before that, Jean Silva was on a tear. He choked out Bryce Mitchell. He beat Mel Seek Bagdasarian. He beat Drew Dober, beat Charles Jourdain, Weston Wilson, Kevin Vallejos. Vallejos is actually who's been on a tear himself. So John Silva has the wins over notable guys, has the experience. Obviously, he's a dog. He comes in with just very emotional. A lot of the time, he's either screaming or crying or one of the two. But I want to pick Arnold Allen. I like him, but inactivity, that ring rust could be real. So that scares me a little bit. But you know what? We're gonna go with Arnold Allen. I think he's about plus 220 favorite right now. So maybe a little sprinkle if you're looking for an underdog. But that fight's gonna be close. That might be fight of the night right there. Arnold Allen versus Jean Silva. We're gonna take the underdog. Let's go, Arnold Allen. And now let's move on here to women's flyweight. I think that's the only women's fight on the card. We got Natalia Silva taking on Rose Namajunas. Natalia Silva 19-5 and 1. Rose 15-7. Um, Sorry about that. Let's see. Let's just refresh here on this Natalia. Yeah, Natalia Silva, like we said, 19-5 and 1. She is Her last victory was against Alexa Grasso, so former champion. She has that victory on her belt. Jessica Andrade, she beat Vivian. Um, she beat Andrea Lee. She beat Victoria Leonardo. So she's had, let's see, she's been super active. So just in the last, yeah, I mean, she's on what's her win streak? She hasn't lost since 2017, so that's pretty crazy. Natalia Silva last loss was to Marina Rodriguez, but that was nearly a decade ago, which is actually crazy to think about. Um, and then Rose, as we know, she's been up and down. Former uh, two-time champion, I believe, is Rose. So let's just recap Rose, her last several fights here. I think she beat Miranda Maverick last, but that was a super close fight too. I don't think it should have been that tough for her. I like Miranda, but I thought Rose was gonna beat her more emphatically. So Rose, she's 14-7. That's interesting. This has 15-7, but this site has 14-7. Anyway, but yeah, kind of all over the place the last few years. She beat Miranda Maverick, but before that was a loss to Erin Blanchfield. Right before that, she had two wins back to back. She beat Tracy Cortez and Amanda Ribas. And then before that, two losses back to back. So obviously a little streaky up and down. Last few fights for Rose. She's lost to Carla Esparza, Manon Fior, Erin Blanchfield. But she has two wins over Wei Lee, so it's crazy. But that was 5 years ago. So, I mean, I think Natalia, her trajectory has been going up where Rose is kind of just waxing and waning, just sort of up and down. So yeah, Natalia is the favorite. She's minus 380, so she's a pretty big favorite. I'm gonna roll with her. Also, I like Natalia Silva. I think it's favored to go to decision, but if Natalia can get the victory, obviously that's more impressive. Get the victory by finish, that's more impressive. Pretty sure whichever one wins will get the championship fight versus Valentina next. So I think Natalia Silva gets it done over Rose. Next, we move on to the heavyweight division. We got Waldo Cortez Acosta, Big Papi, taking on Derek Lewis. Waldo Cortez Acosta 16-2. Derek Lewis 29-12. Crazy experience. That's a ton of fights for Derek Lewis. Waldo Cortez Acosta. Check out some of his last few fights here. Salsa Boy. Dang, I didn't know that's his official nickname. That's crazy. Uh, let's see. Waldo. Where's Waldo? So, yeah, I mean, his last fight was a knockout. He beat Shamil Gaziev. Before that, he beat Ante Delija. But he's lost to Sergey Pavlovich. But he beat the other Sergey. He's beat Sergey Spivak, beat Ryan Spann. He's lost to Pavlovich, though. He has a win over Rebellis, which is crazy considering what he's been doing in karate combat. So Waldo Cortez Acosta has been on a pretty good tear lately. I know Derek Lewis is kind of always up and down also. But let's just check here. Black Beast Derek Lewis. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. All right, he's 40 years old, but obviously he still has the power, the capability to knock out anybody on pretty much any given day. Coming off the couch, I think he could knock out pretty much anybody. Um, but yeah, let's just go over his last few fights here. So Waldo Cortez Acosta, his last fight was a TKO in the very first round. He finished Taliesin Teixeira. Before that, he beat Rodrigo Nascimento. But before that, he lost to Jonathan Almeida, but it was a decision, so he didn't get finished. Um, yeah, Derek Lewis, man, he has so many losses and a lot of knockout losses too. Like he's been knocked out by Tuivasa, both Sergey, so Sergey Spivak and Sergey Pavlovich. So Derek Lewis has been knocked out quite a few times, though he did look really good against Taliesin. I kind of like Derek Lewis whenever he's in that underdog spot. It's very tempting. Right now, Waldo's about a minus 340 favorite. So Derek Lewis, big underdog. I think there's a little bit of value there. Obviously, if you don't think he's going to win, there's no value, of course. But if you like Derek Lewis, obviously is the knockout power to do it to anybody. But I do think Waldo Cortez gets it done. I don't like that he's such a big favorite. Probably won't bet on this at all. I might bet the under for under 1.5 rounds total. I think one of these boys is going down. I don't know which one, but I'm going to go ahead and pick officially Waldo Cortez Acosta to beat Derek Lewis, unfortunately. Love Derek Lewis, though. Shout out. And moving on to the co-main event, he gets from the third to last fight of the night, moved up into that co-main event spot with the cancellation of Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison is Suga Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Sean O'Malley, 18-3. As we know, his only 3 losses. That one kind of freak injury loss to Cheeto, and then 2 losses to Marab. Song Yadong, 22-8-1. I don't think I realized he had that many fights, unless he just has a ton of like regional fights before he got to the UFC. But do a little quick refresh. Song Yadong, his last several fights here. Yeah, I mean, he trains with Uriah Faber, all those guys up in Sacramento, but he hasn't shown any of that really wrestling. I mean, I'm sure he has the capability. He hasn't shown it yet, though. Song Yadong, crazy power for his size. Of course, still just 28 years old, so actually younger than O'Malley. Um, but yeah, Sean O'Malley. Let's see. So Song Yadong's last victory was Henry Cejudo. It says technical eye poke, so I don't know exactly what happened there. But Song Yadong's last victory was Henry Cejudo, former champion, so pretty impressive there either way. But then Song Yadong did lose to current bantamweight champion Peter Yan. That was actually on the O'Malley versus Vera 2 card, UFC 299 back in March of 2024. So Song Yadong has lost to Peter Yan, but Peter Yan is crazy good, obviously. Song Yadong, before that loss, had 2 wins back to back. He beat Chris Gutierrez and Ricky Simon. But before that, 2 losses back to back. Corey Sandhagen, which respectable, but lost to this Jacob Rodriguez guy. Oh, that was a grappling match. Never mind. Yeah, Song Yadong, pretty good resume, honestly. He's beaten Marlon Moraes, Julio Arce, Casey Kenny. He's beaten Cheeto himself, but he's lost to Kyler Phillips, who's not that impressive, honestly. So Song Yadong has been beat before. But yeah, Sean O'Malley, I feel like this fight was given to Sean O'Malley with the hopes that he will bounce back. Song Yadong, they gave him a guy who's going to kind of just stand there and who's going to be willing to strike with Sean O'Malley. It'll be interesting to see if, Uriah Faber and that Team Alpha Male camp put a game plan together for Song Yadong to maybe try to do some offensive grappling. I think that's his best bet. We've seen Sean O'Malley. He has a victory over Peter Yan, which is super impressive. Like we said, Sean's only losses, freak injury loss to Cheeto and 2 to Marab, like we know. So Sean O'Malley, he is the favorite right now, about minus 205 when I checked last. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to finish Song Yadong. Like, I'm sure he wants a knockout or TKO. Sean O'Malley, of course, but I could see this going to decision. Sean O'Malley's probably going to be able to crack him a couple times. He's really going to test that chin of Song Yadong and vice versa, I'm sure too. If Song Yadong was able to land some of those shots on O'Malley, I think that's a big if though. He's a lot of power, but I don't know if he'll be able to close that distance, close the void, as Demetrius Johnson would say. So yeah, give me Sean O'Malley. I think Sean O'Malley beats Song Yadong pretty. I think it'll go to decision, but I don't think it'll be very close. So give us Sean O'Malley to beat Song Yadong. And now the main event for that interim lightweight UFC lightweight championship. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Let's just do a little dive into here. Quick, Justin Gaethje 26-5, Paddy Pimblett 23-3. Um, yeah, Justin Gaethje. Let's just check out. Obviously, we know about him getting knocked out, UFC 300, of course, but he's had some success since then. Uh, yeah, Justin Gaethje, 37 years old, like we said, 26-5 professional MMA record. His last victory was that decision victory against Rafael Fiziev. Yeah, so his last, oh, he's beat Fiziev twice, which is interesting. His last, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, wow. So we'll go back to October of 2020 when Justin Gaethje got that title shot versus Khabib and was choked out. But then he went on to beat Michael Chandler, lost to Oliveira, beat Fiziev, beat Poirier by knockout. That was crazy. I remember watching that. I was at like a Joe's Crab Shack or something like that. And yeah, Gaethje got that head kick knockout on Poirier. Very, kind of disappointed there. Love Dustin Poirier, but super impressive knockout by Justin Gaethje nonetheless. And then, as we know, UFC 300, he gets knocked out by Max Holloway, but bounces back about 11 months later, nearly a whole year after that. So UFC 300 was April 2024, and then UFC 313, Justin Gaethje is able to bounce back. It was March 8th of last year. Justin Gaethje gets that decision victory, second victory over Rafael Fiziev. I'm not really sure why they did that rematch, but yeah, so decision victory. Justin Gaethje has a lot of decisions. I don't know when his last. Oh yeah, his last TKO or just finish victory in general was against Tony Ferguson. That TKO UFC 249. That was the main event, but that was back in 2020. So just in case he hasn't finished anybody. Oh my God, that's crazy. He was on a tear though. James Vick knocked him out. Edson Barbosa knocked him out. Knocked out Cerrone. Knocked out Ferguson. So Gaethje had from 2018 to 2020, Justin Gaethje had 4 knockouts in a row, which is super impressive, but hasn't had any finish victories since then. Um, and we know what Patty's done lately. Patty has been super active. Patty's resume, obviously not as impressive as Justin Gaethje's, but Patty's finishes and his, I think, growth has been more impressive lately than Justin Gaethje. Um, so it's a trajectory thing. It's kind of like Natalia versus Rose. Rose has fought better competition, similar to Gaethje, having fought better people than Paddy Pimblett, but Paddy has been on such a tear. He's got the size advantage. I think he has the advantage on the ground. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how Paddy handles those leg kicks. Devastating leg kicks from Justin Gaethje. He does it Muay Thai style. He's not kicking the calf. He's full on Muay Thai, just shin to the thigh, shin to the knee. So it'd be interesting to see how Paddy handles those leg kicks. If he just closes the distance, a lot of the time you can counter leg strikes. I'm not a fighter or anything, but with punches. So if Paddy just throws a straight right as soon as Gaethje starts teeing off with kicks, I think he'll be all right. I think Paddy is going to be able to do super well at managing distance and range and everything like that. So let's just look at Paddy's last several fights have just been crazy. So, like we said, his resume not quite as impressive as Gaethje's, um, but his trajectory has been crazy. So let's just talk UFC. He made his UFC debut in 2021, knocked the guy out, and then he went on to submit Rodrigo Vargas, and then he submitted Jordan Levitt. So he's had knockouts, he's had submission victories. But yeah, he's been on a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, like a 9 fight win streak, and they've all been finishes except for Tony Ferguson and Jared Gordon. that fight was close. A lot of people think that Patty actually lost that. Um, but yeah, so his UFC debut knocked the guy out, and then gets a submission, and then he submits Jordan Levitt, and then he has that close, kind of controversial decision victory over Jared Gordon. Beats Tony Ferguson, beats Bobby Green by submission, and then we saw what he did to Michael Chandler. Just crazy. Those elbows, like the veracity, whatever the word is, just so ferocious. Those elbows he rained down while he was on top of Michael Chandler were just filthy, just nasty. So I feel like, Patty fights with a certain venom. Obviously, Justin Gaethje does too. I don't know about that fight IQ for Justin Gaethje. I think it's going to get him in a lot of trouble. Definitely has the power to knock out just about anybody in that division. Um, yeah, I like Justin Gaethje. Usually, I pull for the American guy if it's USA versus somebody else. But yeah, give me Patty Pimblett. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to. I think he can finish him. I think Patty's going to not go for a takedown in the first round at all. That's my prediction. I think Patty's just going to stay on the feet and, work that range and just kind of download data, as they like to say, see what Justin Gaethje's trying to do. I think Patty's going to just sort of read and feel Justin Gaethje out in that first round. Um, O'Malley another title shot. Yeah, I think they do because a lot of people think that O'Malley lost to Peter Yan anyway, even though O'Malley technically won. So I think if O'Malley wins tomorrow night, O'Malley versus Peter Yan at the White House would be crazy. I could see that. I think it'd be a little unfair to snub Marab. I think Marab deserves a rematch before anybody else. But let's say Marab's not healthy and he needs more time to recover, and Peter Yan's ready to go. Sean O'Malley's ready to go. Sean versus Peter Yan 2 at the White House would be crazy. I think that would feed families, as they say. Yeah, so I think Sean for sure will get another title shot. I just don't know how soon. But yeah, if I had to make a prediction, Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley 2 at the White House. If not, if they don't do Marab versus Peter Yan before that, I think Sean versus Peter at the White House would be insane. Would be just fantastic. But yeah, for the main event, my final prediction, Paddy Pimblett. I think he actually is going to submit Justin Gaethje. If he doesn't get the TKO, I can see him raining down some elbows, um, softening up Justin Gaethje on the ground. I think probably third round. That's my official prediction for the main event. I'm gonna go Paddy Pimblett, third round submission over Justin Gaethje. I think Paddy is still the slight favorite right now. Last time I checked, he was about minus 230. So decent favorite for Paddy. If you want to bet that straight up, go ahead. Yo, what's going on, Constantinos? Shout out to you. I appreciate the like. Whoever dropped a like, thank you. Make sure you sub up too. I don't think we're doing a watch party tomorrow for these fights, but next week, January 31st, UFC 325, we'll do a preview show just like we're doing for this one for that, probably the Friday beforehand. But next Saturday, love from London, bro. Appreciate that. Patty by sub round 4. I like that. I could see round 3 or 4, Patty getting it done. But yeah, we're going on 30 minutes here. But yeah, I'll just recap my main event predictions for some of the people that might have missed it. So that very first fight, Arnold Allen versus John Silva. I heard Gaethje might pull because of neck injury. I saw something like that too. I think it was a little clickbaity because they had Armand versus Patty in the picture. I think I saw what you're talking about, but I think Gaethje's fine. I think he weighed in already. Yeah, so you're saying Constantino's got Umar, Silva, Acosta, Sean, Patty. Uh, Technically, Umar's on the prelims, but I know what you meant. Yeah. So, man, I keep going back and forth with this Arnold Allen versus John Silva. I'm gonna pull the trigger. I like Arnold Allen. I think he's gonna win. He has crazy power. Go back and watch Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. That fight was insane. If you think Dan Hooker is fierce, bites down on his mouthpiece and goes for it, go back and watch Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. That fight was crazy. John Silva, again, has been way more active than Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen didn't fight at all in 2025. I don't know though. I feel like John Silva, he's so fierce. He comes out like crazy barking and doing all that stuff, but I don't know, man. I like Arnold Allen personally. It's gonna be tough. Can't predict the women's fight because I don't know shit about them. Well, I mean, Thug Rose, yeah, we'll get to that. So yeah, Arnold Allen. Like I said, I don't feel great about it, but I think that's gonna be fight of the night. Pull the trigger. I'll go Arnold Allen. Will get the upset. I don't know how he's gonna do it. It's gonna be a crazy fight. Um, yeah, and then again, recapping Natalia Silva versus Rose. I think just Rose has been on a better trajectory lately. So I think Silva beats Rose. But whichever one wins, I think they've both said it. So I bet Dana told both of them just whoever wins will get the next title shot. So I think Natalia Silva, her versus Valentina, if that happens, will be crazy. Um, Allen is good all around. Silva's just a beast, low key. Piece Lopez up. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think Silva's a dog. Obviously, barks nonstop. I want the prettier girl to win, but I know the other will win. No offense to her. Um, I'm not sure, which one you mean there. I think Natalia's gonna win personally, though. Um, yeah, Rose obviously has the experience, but I think Natalia has just been on a better trajectory later. So yeah, just recapping my main card picks here. Again, I'm gonna go Arnold Allen getting the upset, Natalia Silva. If she can get a finish over Rose, that would be super impressive. Black hair girl, yeah, Natalia, I think she wins too. And then again, third to last fight on this main card, Waldo Cortez versus Derek Lewis. Uh, Man, you can never count out Derek Lewis. I won't bet on Derek, but yeah, yeah. I can't. I don't blame you there. Um, if you like Derek Lewis, like I said earlier, he is an underdog. I think he's pretty tempting. It's pretty tempting, Derek Lewis in an underdog spot. But really, any heavyweight fight is tough to bet on because anybody could knock out anybody. So it's tough. I like Derek Lewis. He's obviously massive fan favorite, but I think Waldo Cortez Acosta will get it done, unfortunately, and he's probably gonna salsa all over the octagon. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, and then again, co-main event: Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Uh, Let me know who you guys think wins that. I'm interested who Constantinos and Code. Who do you guys think wins that? Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Man, I feel like Song Yadong has wrestling in his bag, but we just haven't seen him use it. So I don't know if he just doesn't like to go to it. Obviously, I think that'd be the higher IQ play to try to take O'Malley down, but we'll see. Yeah, Sean by decision. That's how I see it going too. Unless he cracks him and swarms him. But I could see Sean where he does crack him and then just kind of stays patient, doesn't get overeager. So yeah, said this already, but I think Sean O'Malley does get that victory. Um, and then we'll see. I don't think he gets an immediate title shot, like I was saying a little bit earlier. Peter Yan versus Sean at the White House would be insane, but I do think Marab deserves a rematch. Yeah, good chance. Something tells me he's just gonna strike your own boy. Yeah, yeah. Song Yadong, like he trades with Uriah Faber, like we said, but he doesn't really use that offensive wrestling. We just haven't seen it. Like I said, I'm sure he has it, but I don't know. And then again, Justin Gaethje, Patty Pimblett. Yeah, for sure. Marab definitely does deserve a rematch, but I'm curious to see if he will take time off. I think if that's a like personal decision for him, I think that's wise. So then I could see maybe Sean O'Malley leapfrogging him there, but again, if Marab's healthy and ready to go, he deserves it 100%. And then again, Justin Gaethje, Patty Pimblett, Patty about a minus 230 favorite last time I checked. Justin Gaethje obviously has that power and the leg kicks. I'm really curious to see how Patty handles the leg kicks of Gaethje, but otherwise, I think Patty has the advantage on the ground. Um, what was your pick for Islam coming to welterweight if you got the time? Yeah, I don't know what my official. I think I probably picked Islam. I know it's easy to say that now, um, but yeah, I don't. I think when I thought about it back then, it was hard for me to visualize Islam losing. So yeah, I probably picked Islam. I don't know officially though. Yeah, Umar Yan would be sick too. So I did a prediction video where I predicted all the champions by the end of this year or January 1st next year. And I have Umar being champ by that point. But how it all plays out, we'll have yet to see. But I appreciate you guys dropping your comments, asking questions. I love that. There's a few of you in here. We're going on 35 minutes. I'm about to roll out of here, but Yeah, yeah, who else? I mean, oh, yeah, I think I just did shorts. Uh, Let me see, I can actually hop on right here. I think Tom Aspinall finishes the year as heavyweight champ. I just don't think there's gonna be a lot of fights. Yeah, because I don't know, it's tough. That bantamweight division is so hard. Flyweight and bantamweight is really tough to predict, as far as championships go. Um, but yeah, I think I can probably remember. I think Yuri is gonna finish the year as light heavyweight champ just because I think Poatan moves up to heavyweight. So I think if they do Carlos Olberg versus Yuri um, for the interim light heavyweight belt at some point this year, and then even if Yuri has to fight again, I think Yuri finishes the year as light heavyweight champ. Um, I'll get to 150 up. I'm just gonna go down the order, descending order for weight. Um, yeah, Pereira versus Gane would be crazy. I'm hearing Poatan versus John Jones on the White House, but Dana doesn't trust John Jones, like we've said. Um, but yeah, so middleweight, I think it's still gonna be Kamzat. I don't see anybody beating him, and with him like taking time off for whatever Ramadan or whatever it is, I just don't think he's going to fight more than once or twice this year, and I don't know who would beat him. Kamzat might actually move up, but I don't think that happens this year. I could see Kamzat moving up next year and giving a lot of problems to those guys, but yeah. Fuck Dana only ever says I don't know. Yeah, and it's crazy. Do you see Dana White doesn't even know what the fight bonuses are going to be? So these guys aren't getting extra pay on the back end from these pay-per-views, but he doesn't know, what the bonuses are going to be. He doesn't know anything. So I feel like he's spread too thin, worried about Zuffa boxing and everything like that. It's kind of crazy. So where were we? Welterweight, I think Islam finishes the year as champ there. 155, man, this is all going to depend on Dana if he even gives him a title shot. But I could see Arman beating Ilya. I don't know. I don't feel super confident. I love Ilya Taporia, but I think there is a chance Arman could beat him actually. So I think I did pick Arman to finish the year as 155 champ, but Dana hates him ever since he pulled out of his title shot against Islam with the back pain. Dana White seems to hate Arman, so it's tough. But I think if Arman does get a shot, he might just get it done. And then 145, I actually picked Lerone Murphy to finish as the champion in that division. Again, that's if he gets a title shot. I feel like Dana doesn't like him. He's like, I feel like Dana is set on Diego Lopez being a champ because I feel like he wants like a Mexican champion or something. Like they're trying to have champs in all these different countries. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could definitely see Ilya knocking Arman out, and then it being competitive, scramble on the ground. But I think it would be very, very competitive. Um, but yeah, Ilya good. I hope that's true. Arman isn't the first to pull out of a fight. I think he's messing up. Yeah, I mean Arman could win. Yeah, that fight would be super interesting. And then I mean Patty versus Ilya. Whenever that happens, if Patty wins, of course, I think a lot of us agree that Patty's gonna beat Gaethje. I think that's a more exciting fight. Yeah. Yeah, Evloev is one of those too where he could just come out of nowhere and get a title shot, but it seems like he's MIA constantly, Mosvar. Patty's so big, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Max was drained down to 145 to fight Ilya, so not a full blown up Max, but Max was bigger than Ilya too. Patty, yeah, I wonder what Patty blows up to. I don't think he's been getting as fat between fights as he was earlier in his career. You know, but yeah, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. If you guys could subscribe, I would highly appreciate that. I'm trying to get to 15K by the end of the year. Like I said, I don't think I'm doing a watch party tomorrow for this fight, but next week for sure, UFC 325. We'll do another preview show just like this one, and we'll actually be doing a watch party so you can watch the fights with me. Um, yeah, can't always bring up size, bro. Kyle Brady. Yeah, Max Goated just can't deny Ilya's run. Yeah, it's hard to visualize Ilya losing because we haven't seen it, but yeah. Patty versus Gaethje, what percentage? I think Patty wins. I'm not sure percent. Ilya is smaller, help him with boxing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, drop. Let me know since we got a few people responding in the chats right now. Drop your official prediction. Give me Patty or Gaethje. Give me the round. Give me the method. What do you guys think? And I'll let me see what you guys think. I think Patty by submission, third or fourth round, or TKO. I can see him just doing like he did to Chandler, 70-30. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Um, I'm just rooting for Patty also because I think him versus Ilya is so much more competitive than Ilya versus Gaethje. I think Ilya just knocks Gaethje out immediately. Patty round four sub. Yep, I like that. I think you're we're in the same boat here. Let's see what. How about code and PXRKN? What do you guys think? Give me your official predictions here, and then I'm about to roll out. But I appreciate you guys. Make sure you smash that sub button, please. Smash that sub button, and we'll be back next week to do preview show UFC 325. We had to wait those 6 weeks until Paramount got rolling, but now it looks like they're just gonna keep them going. Patty via ground and pound or sub. Justin would get a somersault knockout. Yeah. How can I donate? Oh dang. I haven't reached, monetization, so you can't donate right now. But just subscribe for now. That's good enough. If you just subscribe and drop a like and maybe go check out. We have some interviews. We do fighter and interviews too. So our last interview was with a pro fighter out of Florida named Christian Carr. Go check that out. Where are you guys from? Is anybody from? I'm from Pennsylvania. Anybody else from East Coast? You expecting this snow? I'm not. I'm not a fan of the cold. I don't want this snowstorm coming. Yeah, I appreciate you, Park. I'm just gonna call you Park. Yeah, shout out. Shout out all you guys. Make sure you sub up. Um, the You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter too if you want. It's the same exact handle, Hunter Brock 717. North Africa, dang, shout out to you. Appreciate that. We'll do a little sneak peek of UFC 325, but I won't get too crazy just since we got some people in here. Man, I'm still bummed out. Amanda Nunez and Kayla Harrison got canceled. That was kind of crazy. I am Asian. Nice. Been NYC for UFC last November, first time. That's amazing. I have yet to go to a UFC event live, so that's definitely bucket list for sure. How was it in person? NYC is the most random place ever. Yeah, it's like a GTA server. Cali and New York are just crazy, bro. Oh man, that's right. UFC 325 is so packed too. Holy cow, that might be arguably more stacked than this one since we lost that women's fight. It was lit. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so I'm not gonna go crazy right here, but yeah, UFC 325 next week. Volk versus Diego Lopez too. Doesn't really make sense to me that they ran that back, but whatever. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. Faziev versus Ruffy is gonna be crazy. Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira. That's crazy too. Quillen Sakilde versus Zhu Rong. Quillen was the one doing the smoke emote. Yeah, bro, NYC. Oh yeah, it was lit. Many weirdos in London, but NYC is just as weird. I feel like London and NYC and New York are pretty comparable places. Wish I could watch it. All the fights are very early. Oh yeah, yeah. All right. I'm not gonna get too far ahead of myself, but yeah, that was the full recap. UFC 324. Give me in that main card. Give me Arnold Allen. Give me Natalia Silva, Waldo Cortez Acosta, Sean O'Malley, Patty Pimblett. Oh, I owe the no, I don't owe the subscribers a shoey. What do you mean? I feel like when I put that out there, sometimes if you guys are enjoying this video, give me a follow on Twitter too. It's the same handle, Hunter Brock 717. Uh yeah, well, shoey there'll be some shoey steaks next week because that fight's in Australia. So how about this? I'll put that out there right now so you guys have something to look forward to. Let's see. If Dang, there's so many Aussies on the card. Who should I pick? Let's see. If Tai Tuivasa knocks out Taliesin Teixeira, I'll go live and do a shoey. How about that? Shout out you, Tonita. Yeah, so that wraps it up. Appreciate you guys. Um, Peace.